Hey, I'm Tom Hampton, and I hate playing guitar in chairs with arms on them, but tonight we're going to do that because I owe you guys an instructional video. I'm cleaning up some of my New Year's resolutions, and sometime back when Ronnie Hammond from Atlanta Rhythm Section passed away, I made a video that I actually posted from my kitchen of me playing one of Ronnie's songs. And I must have gotten a couple dozen emails from different folks asking if I could either transcribe it or somehow otherwise teach them how to play this song. So this year, in order to do a service to my karma, I'm going to try to catch up on some of this stuff. And I'm going to teach you guys today how to play my song by the Atlanta Rhythm Section. If you found out about this song the way that I did, you probably heard it on the flip side of the 45 that they put out for Do It or Die back in 1980, 81, maybe earlier than that. I can't remember. But it's almost a completely acoustic arrangement. It's got some strings and a short guitar solo on it, but the song is relatively simple in terms of the arrangement. There's an intro part, there's a verse part, and there's a chorus part. And if you know the song well enough to be hunting down complete strangers on YouTube to try to figure out how to play it, I'm going to assume that you know the song well enough or are familiar enough with the song that you probably don't need me to get too terribly deep under the hood to teach you the arrangement. So we're going to break this down into those three parts: the intro, the verse, and then the chorus. And I'm going to take you through the chord patterns for each one of those individually, and then we'll tie it all together at the end. The most important thing you need to know is that this song is not in standard tuning. If alternative tunings, if open tunings or alternate tunings throw you for a loop, there's probably some great kitten videos you could watch. You can move over there to the side and find something, I'm sure. But this really need not be as complicated or as awkward or as intimidating as it might seem. The tuning for this song on the record is actually open E. I dropped it down a full step to open D. If you want to do it in open E, to do it with the record, then all you have to do is move this whole thing up a full step, or you can put the capo on the second fret. I tend to tune down to D for two reasons. One, because it's a lot easier on me vocally, but also because you don't create as much tension on the strings on the guitar itself, and I tend to use heavy strings. I use the 13 to 56s, so I don't want to put a whole lot of pressure on the top of the guitar, and open D helps with that as well. To get to open D, you make four changes. First, on the low E string, you drop that down from E to D. You skip the A and the D string, you go straight to the G string. You drop the G string down a half step to F sharp. And then both of the plain strings you drop down a full step as well, from B to A, and then from E to D. So what that leaves you with is D, A, D, F sharp, A, D. So if you want to grab a tuner and sit down and dial your guitar in, I'll wait patiently right here while you do that. Or if you're kind of already on top of that, we'll just keep moving along. The first thing we're going to tackle is the intro section, which may actually be the hardest part of the entire song because it requires that you be able to do two things relatively well. You need to be able to play harmonics, and you need to be able to slide chords and let open strings ring, which is a little tough to maintain the notes while you're sliding it and not mute the open strings. For those of you who are still new to the concept of harmonics, that is striking the strings while you're lightly touching the strings at the 12th fret and then removing your fingers as you strike them. It takes a little practice, but it's something that really everybody who plays guitar past a certain skill level ought to be able to do. So there's the harmonic element, and then the sliding of the chord that you also have to be able to do as well. The chord in question is made by dropping your ring finger on the 5th string, 4th fret, and dropping your pointer finger on the 3rd string at the 3rd fret. So this is the chord you'll be making, and then you're going to be sliding this chord from this position at the 3rd and 4th fret down 2 frets. So the whole thing together is open low D string, harmonic, and then you hammer on, you pull off and hammer on. So you're going to want to practice that a little bit because it's a little tough, and rightfully so. I mean, it's it's not easy to move strings and keep all that stuff in there at the same time. But the pattern for the intro, those of you who are really, really familiar with the song have probably already figured out, goes like this. Figure that closes out the intro is made by taking your bird finger and your ring finger and dropping them at the 3rd fret on the 5th and the 3rd string, and you're going to play this pattern. So again, you're sliding the 2 fingers down a fret at a time this time in this instance, and hopefully you can kind of see what my fat little Vienna sausage fingers are doing with my right hand, but again, slowly the pattern is this. One more time real quick. So the intro pattern, again, in its entirety. Here we go, all together. Time, and then to the closing figure. And that's your intro. That's going to cycle back through in the arrangement, as you're probably already aware, several times, including at the very end, because that's the end figure as well. Moving on to the verse pattern. Basically, you're going to find, after you go through this whole video and listen to me rant about these chords, you're going to find that this whole thing is circular in nature. It starts at one position for the verse, it starts at another position for the chorus, but the chords are the same, and in almost every instance they're rotating in a circular fashion from this position up to the 5th fret and then back down. I'm going to take you through the verse chords really quickly here. The verse chord, the first chord of the verse, starts with your bird finger and your ring finger on the 4th fret on the 5th and 6th strings, with your pointer finger on the 3rd string at the 3rd fret. I'll ring these chords out for you so that you can check against what's in the video and see if you're doing it right. So first chord of the progression. Again, really slowly. That's the first chord of the progression. The second chord of the progression you make by sliding your top 2 fingers, your bird finger and your ring finger, down a fret to the 3rd fret. You lift up your index finger and drop your pinky finger in the same position on the 3rd fret on the 3rd string. Second chord right here. One more time. Okay, continuing our downward motion, the 3rd chord is made by simply raising up your pinky finger, sliding these 2 fingers down yet another fret, and dropping your index finger on the 3rd string at the 1st fret. Again, really slowly. Okay, here's where the circular motion comes in, because we're going to lift this whole thing up for the 4th chord and come up to the 5th fret, where we're going to put all of our fingers on the 5th fret in their positions. Again, pinky finger on the 3rd string, ring finger and bird finger on the 5th and 6th strings. One more time. The next chord's a real challenge because you lift up one finger and put another finger down. You're going from this major voicing to a minor voicing by lifting up your pinky finger and dropping down your index finger on the same string but on the 4th fret. Again. The next chord you make by simply sliding this whole mechanism down 1 fret. Then you slide it down 2 frets. And then for the final chord of the pattern, you lift up both your ring finger and your bird finger and you keep your your ring finger and your pinky finger floating away from the neck. You drop down your bird finger on the 4th string at the 2nd fret to get this voicing that does not use the low string, only the top 5 strings. Again. So I'm going to take you again slowly through the chords of the verse, starting with the very first chord. 3rd chord, up to the 5th fret for the 4th chord, minor version, 7th chord, and 8th and final chord, using only the top 5 strings. Now I'm going to play it using the actual picking pattern from the song with my right hand so that you can hear it a little more in context. Again, it's 8 chords in a circular fashion, down to the nut, up to the 5th fret, and then back down. Here we go, slowly. So that's the 8 chords of the intro pattern. Obviously you repeat that twice. I'm sorry, the verse pattern, I should have said that more clearly. This is the verse pattern we're working on. I'm skipping backward instead of ahead. So the verse pattern again, with the picking pattern intact, again slowly. 8 chords. 1st chord, 2nd chord, 3rd chord, 4th chord, 5th chord, 6th chord, 7th chord, 8th chord. And then to finish out the verse, you repeat that entire pattern one time to bring the whole thing together. Moving on to the chorus. The chorus uses the exact same chords. There's one different movement in it that I'm going to show you in a minute, but it starts at a different place. It starts all the way up at the 5th fret with what we call the 4 chord of the chord progression. So it goes from the D all the way up to what is a G chord voicing at the 5th fret in this particular tuning. So we're going to start with the 1st chord of the chorus. Again, you heard this in the verse. In the same order. Downward. Downward again. Starting to sound familiar? Down again, just like in the verse. Here's where the deviation comes in. Once you get to this position at the 2nd fret, you're going to slide this whole thing up for a 4 chord movement that's going to look like this. Up 2 frets, put down the pinky at the 5th fret, and then 7th fret. So you're going to, the movement's going to look like this. And then you play it open, hit the harmonic, and then there's going to be a suspended 4th that's going to be just involving these 2 fingers using the chord from the intro pattern. So I'm going to play through the chorus pattern one more time for you slowly. Again, same movement as in the verse, same chords as in the verse, until you get to here. And then there's a 4 chord walk up. Then hit it open, harmonic, same chords. Again, everything repeats twice. That pattern from the chorus is the same pattern that you'll hear under the guitar solo that comes right after the very first chorus, because the first chorus is only a half chorus. He only sings one line of the chorus, and then a guitar plays a figure over the top of it, God bless Barry Bailey, and then it goes back into the verse. So I'm going to play through from the intro, through the verse, through the chorus, just so that you can see how this all ties together. And again, I seem to be overstressing it, but it's all circular. The movement of the chords is almost entirely circular. So again, from the top, intro, verse, chorus, just like this. Start in the verse at the 4th fret. Slide down, back up to the 5th fret. Lift up the pinky, drop the index finger, slide it 1 fret, down to here, then the 5 chord, and then you play the whole thing again. Up to the 5th fret, pinky down, then pinky up and index down, then down a fret, then to the 5 chord there, then to the chorus at the 5th fret, then here comes the 4 chord walk up. For the chorus. Then intro pattern. I hope this is helping somewhat. I know I'm not giving a whole lot of deeply advanced, theory information here, but the chord voicings are what they are. Nobody ever showed me how to play this. I figured it out on my own at one point. Maybe it's correct, maybe it's completely out of my tree, but this is how I play it. Again, you're going to find that as you're starting to practice these chord movements, that 90% of the work is just involving picking up or putting down your index finger or your pinky finger, either behind or in front of the chord. The rest of it is all circular in motion, and the finger picking thing, I promise, if I can do it, anybody can do this, and it'll come to you if you keep at it long enough. I hope this has been some help to you. I'm going to try to start being a little less of a YouTube hermit and start to post stuff here a little more often for you guys to check out. If you have any questions about this lesson, if you encounter any problems, if you hit any speed bumps, drop me a line and let me know. I'll do my best to get you on the right track. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.